Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Hi, Foffit. You've reached Mel from Bella, the podcast that feels like a voice note from your best friend. Welcome to this week's episode of the podcast. I'm your host, Bella, and if you're a new listener, welcome to the Inner Group Chat. I'm so excited that you're here. And if you're a returning listener, then I am so glad you came back because we have so much to catch up on. I'm sorry last week's episode was late, okay? I did actually edit it in time. Can I explain to you why I didn't upload it? No. My only reasoning is that I forgot, okay? And we're just going to move past that. We're just going to move past that. I'm not going to berate myself about it. Life happens sometimes. We can't manage to do everything all of the time. But I am sorry that that was late because you guys rely on me. And I let you down and I apologise. But this week we are going to talk about female friendships, connection and feeling a little bit lonely. Because it's actually been something I've been thinking a lot about the past couple of weeks. And I guess I felt nervous talking about it because it felt a bit exposing. Like it felt a bit like not the most fun conversation topic. I guess it felt quite close to how I am actually feeling. That's always something a bit scary to talk about when anyone could listen to it because, you know, it does make you feel quite vulnerable because it's not like the coolest or most like confident or blah, blah, blah version of yourself that you're projecting. But I also think like, you guys know what the podcast is like. Of course I'm going to talk about it when it's something that's been on my mind quite a lot because recently I have been feeling a bit lonely. I think. And it's nothing on the friendships that I have made in Manchester. It's nothing on that. I've been thinking about it a lot. And it's nothing to do with the friendships that I made in Manchester or anything like that. I think I'm just getting used to not living with my friends anymore. Because from the day I was born, because I think I'm just getting used to not living with friends anymore, just living with my boyfriend, which is great and I love it. But it's that having to now make actual effort to see people rather than just seeing people that you'd always hang out with anyway. You know, I would normally hang out with my housemates and see my housemates every single day. And so I know I've been doing it for like a year and a bit now. So I don't know why this has come up now. But I think it's something that's always been there. I'm just thinking there's less new things going on in my life, so I can't ignore it as much. I think creating strong female friendships as you get older is something that everyone online seems to already have. Seems to have their like friendship groups and their friends that they do things with, and everyone already seems to be in kind of. And the thing is, like, everyone's like, go and join a club or go and join a running club, but I don't want to. And I know that's stubborn and silly, but I just don't want to. I want it to be like the type of friendships that you make at school where you just like. You can gauge whether or not you get on with someone before you commit to doing a thing with them. Because I guess I'm a bit of a people pleaser and I'm not good at telling people I don't want to do that anymore. And I'm not good at not being obliged to do things anymore. And so it's like I don't want to go to all these clubs and make the effort of making friends. I somehow want these friendships to fall on my lap and it doesn't make any sense. And so I've been feeling a bit lonely recently and I just wanted to chat about it with you guys because I've got a feeling I can't be the only one. But before we get on to that, let's discuss a little life update for how this week's been. This week has been good. I'm back into my running training, had the worst run ever today. It was awful. I hated it. It was into a headwind. My legs were tired. My body was tired. I just couldn't be bothered. I think maybe I'm going to come on my period. I don't know. I just felt like low energy. And it was just quite awful and I didn't enjoy it, but it was a good reminder of the rule of thirds, that a third of the time you're going to love something, a third of the time it's going to be just okay, and a third of the time it's not going to be great. But just because a third of the time it's not great doesn't mean you should quit or give up. It just means that you're human and that you're experiencing something very normal. Because I think it's easy when we have these bad days or when something doesn't go wrong, you have a bad session at the gym or you go to a bad film or all of these. Bad film was a weird example. But you're not going to think that everything is bad. It's just that one instance is bad. And having and understanding that rule of thirds is something that I kind of can use to rationalise it to myself. Because beforehand, I'd have been like, well, that's it. Running, over, hate it, not doing that anymore. But now I know, and my ADHD brain knows, that it's just a normal part of being human. Liking things, not liking things, doing things. I think it particularly applies to hobbies. I think that can be the moment where we think we want to give up on them, like running. But actually, I know it's been a good thing for me to carry on doing. I've noticed how much happier I seem to be doing it. And so it's something that I'm glad I've persevered with. I've also persevered because my half marathon is on the 31st of May. And I'm not as ready as I would like to be. I'm hitting the training is actually hard. Beforehand, I kind of plateaued a bit and I just was like, it's just great to complete it, which is true. It is great to complete it, but I've given myself a time this time that I want to complete it in. And it's actually hard to train. It's not just fun. The other one was time was it was just fun. This isn't just fun. And so that's been the only slight negative. But it's fine. We're not deeping it. I've still got 2 months. So I reckon by then we'll be in a great position. But that's enough of the running talk. Let's get into this week's podcast topic, which is dealing with loneliness as we get older and as adults. Now, I am one of 3. I have 2 sisters. They're both younger than me. And so my middle sister was born when I was 2. And so I don't remember life without her. I've always lived with sisters or girls. Like, that's just always been what I've been used to. And so I've always been used to kind of having friends around me and living with friends and living with girls specifically. And I guess over the last year, I had just missed that close female friendships, because throughout school I'd live with my sisters, and then when I went to university I lived in houses of girls, and then when I moved to London I lived with my 2 best friends who were girls as well. And so I'd always lived in these houses of girls and always lived with like female presence in my life, of like directly like living with women, and those female friendships, they're so strong and you feel so seen, you feel so supported, and they're really special. Like, female friendships are really, I can't speak on male friendships because, to be honest, I don't have loads of male friends. I have some, but like my closest friendships in my life are just female friendships. And there is something really special about the ones that I have in my life, of you do feel that kind of sisterly bond, I guess. And I think since I stopped living at home, that sisterly bond, and since I moved out from not living with my housemates anymore, living with my boyfriend, you know, I love living with my boyfriend. I wouldn't change it. I was ready for that next step. I was ready to kind of move out of the housemate era. It was the right choice. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss my friends. I do miss my friends, and I have struggled to find those types of friendships again. That, I guess, when you live with people, you become so close because you spend time with them that isn't organised fun time. You know, you're just hanging out, you're watching TVs together, you're doing something low-key. Oh, do you want to pop to the pub with me after work? Like, not everything is a big organised event. It's the little moments, the quieter moments that you end up filling with each other. And it's in those moments that I think it's like those moments that feel like almost the strengthening parts of the relationship, where you become comfortable in each other's company, that not everything has to be a big event, when you know each other so well that you do feel really settled around each other. And I think that's been the thing that I've struggled to find as I moved out from living with housemates. It's something that I've struggled to kind of implement in my life, and I've found great people and I've met great people and I have lovely friends, but I think it is hard to reach that level of closeness again with people when you don't live with them. And I also think it's a thing on me to realise how I interact with people now has changed, because beforehand I could make effort with people, but like all of my best friends that I lived with were the people that I lived with, and so you didn't necessarily have to make loads of plans. You were just always in the plans already. And so now I have switched from living with my boyfriend to now actively having to make plans. And I'll be honest, I think I'm out of the habit of it. I genuinely think I am. The last couple of months, like the last months, I kind of just got out of the habit of organising things and messaging people and being proactive about it. I think I expected it to happen, but you can't expect people to make plans with you, and you can't wait for people to make plans with you. And it can, like, I get the frustration sometimes when it can feel like you're the only one always putting yourself out there and always making plans. I don't think this is about myself, by the way, but I can see that being frustrating. But sometimes I think you have to weigh up, is that more frustrating, or is it more frustrating to not have any of the plans that you want to do? Is it frustrating to always be the organiser, or to not have anyone to do things with? Because friendships take effort, especially friendships at the beginning. And I haven't had many friendships at the beginning for quite a while. And then when I moved to Manchester, all of my friendships became beginning friendships again. And it's been harder than I thought adjusting to that, adjusting to having to make new friends and to finding that friendship group. And I think as well, a thing I found tricky is I've changed a lot. You know, I used to love going on nights out, and I do still like the odd night out. Like, it's fun. I don't hate it. It's really fun. But I like other things now too. I love going outside and going on hikes, and I'm really into running. And I found as my hobbies have changed and the way that I spend my time has changed, and I have found it trickier to find people that overlap with those things. I just think meeting friends in your 20s is actually a lot more difficult than we make it out to be, especially when you move to a new city. It is not as easy as you think it's going to be. And also, everyone says to go to like clubs and things like that, but the thing is, I almost don't want to go to those. I don't want to go and have to go to these forced experiences to meet people, to have that casual kind of interactions. I miss the easy casual interactions I used to have with my other friends. I think that's the bottom line of it. I don't always want to have to go and do this thing or have to go and do this activity. Sometimes I just want to hang out. And that feels harder to do the older we get. The kind of casual friendships. You know, I have that with my best friends, but I've known them for years. And so to get to that level again, I think it's realizing that we have to put the time and effort in. And it is okay to feel lonely and to feel unsure where you stand. And it's okay to feel like everyone else has these big friendship groups, because I have been really feeling it recently. I feel like when I moved to Manchester, like everyone already has their groups. That's how it feels. And I'm just like, I don't have a group, and I feel like I should have a group, but I don't have a group. I feel like I have people, but I don't have a group. And it's not that I mind that. I don't mind that. But because I am happy with how things are. And the truth is it sounds awful to say, but I do a lot of other things, which means I don't have the best social life all of the time. I'm tired sometimes, and sometimes I just want to go to bed, and sometimes I don't have loads of extra things going on in my life. And it's also recognizing that you can't do it all. I think on top of putting loads of pressure on myself to try and meet new people and create those stronger friendship groups and not beat myself up over the fact that I don't feel like I have loads of friends at the moment. It's then realizing that like I can't do it all, and I'm expecting myself to be doing it all. I'm expecting myself to be able to have loads of different friendships that I text all of the time, and I'm expecting myself to be able to create my own business with the social media and the podcast and work and train for a half marathon. It's all of these different things that I'm expecting myself to be able to do, but the truth is you can't. And you have to recognise that you can't do it all. And I think I have really been thinking that I can do it all, and that beating myself up for that, feeling like it's my fault that I don't have that big friendship group yet. But moving to a new city, you know, I've been here nearly a year and a half, and I'm still finding it I'm still making new friends. I'm still finding my friendship group. I'm still finding my feet. And I think it's when you don't live with people, when you do live on your own or in a relationship, it's so much harder to meet people. But it doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It just means that friendships take time, and they take investment, and they take you putting in work. And I'll be honest, I'd been lazy. Like, I hadn't been messaging people as much as I should, and I hadn't been proactive enough in messaging people and making plans. And I guess I just wanted to come on here and like be honest about that, because I think I see a lot of people on social media talking about or having these like big friendship groups, and it feels like it's the norm. It feels like that's what everyone has, but the more people I actually talk to, I realise it's not the norm, and loads of other people are struggling with this too. Loads of people feel like they don't have that group, they don't have that really strong friendship unit, and feel like they've done something wrong because of it. But it is hard to meet new people. It's hard to maintain friendships. It takes effort. It's then hard to also balance working, whether you're doing, you know, what other extra things you're doing, seeing family. Like, there are a lot of elements in life to fit in. And sometimes things fall lower down on your priority list. And when you move to somewhere new, I think making and meeting and maintaining friends has to be quite high up on your priority list. And often it's not, because you have a lot of other things to get on with. Maybe it's a new job, a new living situation, just even settling into a new place. It's a lot. But I think I am finally starting to feel more settled with everything else. And so I've given myself the task of proactively messaging more people. I'm deciding I'm going to make plans. And I'm going to create this friendship group for myself. Because for so many years on my vision board, it's been like having these like groups of people that I do things with and finding different friends and feeling connected by friends. It's not so much the number either. It's just about like knowing you have your people in your corner. I think it's important. We're really social beings. We need to know that we're supported by the people around us. And I guess I want to find and maintain and connect with more people like that I have in my corner, because I've just been feeling a bit lonely. I think I just miss girl time, and I didn't realise how important of a thing it was to have in my life, but it is actually really important, because without it, you start to feel a bit disconnected. And I guess it's fine for a bit, but it's not fine forever. And I think I'd been leaving it a little bit long. And so I guess what I wanted to come on and say is that female friendships are important. Connecting with the people around you is important. Making sure that you have those connections is important. We need them so much more than we realize, and often they can fall quite low down on our priority list. We're working out, we're going to work, we're being with our partner, you're, even just cleaning the flat, keep food shopping, doing two things it sounds so stupid, but all of those things take up time in my brain. Maybe it's the ADHD. And so sometimes I don't feel like there's that much time left over, but that is where I'm going wrong, because it doesn't take that much effort to go for a drink or a coffee, and it doesn't. And the thing is, friendships do take effort, and I've been wanting them to not take effort, but the truth is they do take effort, especially when you're moving somewhere new. And so if you're also moving somewhere new, or if you're struggling and feeling a bit lonely, or if you don't feel like you have loads of friends in your life at your moment, friendships take work. They take effort, they take time. You have to put yourself out there. Sometimes you have to constantly be the organizer. And sometimes you just have to accept that it's more annoying not to have those people surrounding you than it is to be the constant person saying, do you want to do this today? Because I promise you, that will eventually be reciprocated by the right people. And the more you do these things, the less daunting it'll be reaching out and messaging people, and the less scary it'll be finding new people, and the easier making friends is. And all of a sudden, 6 months from now, you realise you have that friendship group you always wanted. So that's my big task, guys. You heard it here first. I'm never going to say it again because, it feels embarrassing to say, but I want to create a really strong friendship group for myself from here, because I think that's the only thing my life is missing right now. That is the only thing. And if I had that, I'd be really proud of myself, because it does take time, it does take work, and it does take effort. So I think now's the moment.